Our reading comes from Joshua chapter 24, the final chapter of the book of Joshua. Then Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and summoned the elders, the heads, the judges, and the officers of Israel. And they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, "Now therefore, revere the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Put away the gods that your ancestors served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. Now, if you are unwilling to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose lands you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." Then the people answered, "Far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods, for he is the Lord our God, who brought us and our ancestors up from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and who did those great signs in our sight. He protected us along all the way that we went, and among all the peoples through whom we passed. And the Lord drove out before us all the peoples, the Amorites who lived in the land. Therefore we also will serve the Lord, for he is our God." Our Old Testament reading comes right at the end of the Pentateuch. Creation, Adam, flood, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Exodus, Sinai, the Promised Land, and finally, here is Joseph laying down his cards and challenging the people as to whether they have paid attention to this whole saga and whether their story is merely a random series of people and places, or whether it says something about them as a people and about the place of God. Joshua does not invite the Israelites into a historical, theological, or sociological debate. He asks them to choose. Perhaps Joshua had listened to one too many late-night fireside, wine-infused conversation to know that these people had an endless capacity to talk. Enough already, he seems to be saying. You in, or are you out? It's a stark reading. Stark because we also have a track record of dithering, of seeing all sides to an argument, of giving a platform in our heads to different views relating to things of faith. Joshua asks these people whether they will stand and be counted. He asks us the same question. Am I a disciple of Jesus Christ? Christians wrestle with this. Rightly we say the call is God's call, God's initiative. That was true of Abraham and of Moses and Paul, Mary. If we frame this idea wrongly, we end up thinking that we are mere cogs in God's machine. Perhaps one way of thinking about this is that this call is God's call, but we need to make our own response. We need to choose. The Feast of the Annunciation only makes sense if Mary chooses freely to say yes to Gabriel. Our personal faith flows from God's gracious invitation, but is cemented in our souls by our fiat, our let it be. We need to repeat that fiat daily, to choose daily whom we will serve.